Welcome back. So we are still under indices. This is probably the second to the last video under indices before we move to log reading. So let me just, concerning the last example we saw in the previous video, so let me just solve this example so you can understand it better. So the question says, solve the equation 5 to the power of 2x minus 26 into bracket 5 to the power of x plus 25 equals to z. This is x, so please don't mind my handwriting. This is x. So now, when we have something like this, so I know, okay, I can write this equation and write it as 5 to the power of x square, all square, right? Is it not still the same thing? 5 to the power of 2x, I can write it as 5 to the power of x square. You know, this x times 2 is still going to go back to 2x. Is it not still the same thing? So it's still the same thing. So I can just write it like this. Then minus 26 to the power of, into bracket 5 to the power of x, then plus 25, all equals to what? 0. Now, what do? You can say what should we use? Y equals to the 5 to the power of x. Let my y be equals to 5 to the power of x. Now, if I say y, let y be equals to the 5 to the power of x, meaning anywhere I see 5 to the power of x, I will write it as what? Y. So here now is what? Here now is y. Then it's having square, right? Then minus 26. Here is again 5 to the power of x. That's what? Y. Then plus 25. All equals what? 0. So if you look at it, it looks like what? Quadratic equation. It looks like quadratic equation. So how do you solve this kind of question? So we use what? Factorization method, right? So let's factorize. I told you in the last video, pick an arrow from the front to the back, right? So when you pick an arrow from the front to the back, here is y square, here is plus 25, right? You see that here is plus 25. So that will give us plus 25 times y will give us what? Times. That will be plus 25 y square. Y square times plus 25 will give us plus 25 y square. So what do? We look for two numbers. And when we multiply the two numbers, it will give us this one that we took the arrow, which is plus 25 y square. And when we add that same two numbers, it will give us the one at the middle. What's at the middle? Don't forget you have to take it with the sign. Minus 26 y square. Minus 26 y square. Sorry, minus 26y, right? So the one at the middle is what? Minus 26y. So what are the two numbers we can use? That when we multiply, it will give us plus 25y square. And when we add, it will give us minus 26y. What are the two numbers we can use? So the two numbers are what? Let's try minus 1y minus 25y. Minus 1y times 20 minus 25y will give us what? Plus. Minus times minus is what? Plus. Y times 25y will give us what? 25y square. So we are correct. So let's check. We have to check if the same thing will go with this. Minus 1y into bracket minus 25y. Let's check. So here will be minus 1y. Plus times minus will give us what? Minus 25y. Minus 1y minus 25y will give us what? Minus 26y, right? So we are actually correct. So the two numbers are minus, you can call it minus y if you like. You can call it minus y. You can call it minus 1y. Whatever. Now, we'll now go back to the equation. What is the first thing in the equation? The first thing is what? Y square. You pick the first thing in the equation. Now, the first number we use, what is the first number we use? Minus 1y. Or you can write minus y, whatever the case is. So minus 1y. Then what is the second number we use? Minus 25y. Then what is the last number in the equation? Plus 25. All equals to 0. I hope you understand. Let me come again. You pick the first thing. After you've gotten the two numbers, you pick the first thing in the equation, which is y square. Then you now pick the first number you use, minus 1y. The second number, minus 25y. Then the last number in the equation, plus 25. You throw away this middle one. You don't need it again. Throw it away. You don't need it. Then all equals to what? 0. So you take a bracket like this. Now, what is common here? Y square minus 1y. What is common? Y is common. So let's bring out y. So y in y square, what will remain? Y in y square, it will remain what? It will remain y. Y in y square, it will remain y, right? When I say y in y square, y will cancel 1. It remains 1. So y in minus 1y, it will cancel this. What is remaining? Minus 1. If you like, you can open it back to check. Y times y is what? Y square. Y times minus 1 is what? Minus 1y. Right? So now we are done. Now what is common here? Y is not common. Y is here, but y is not here. But what is common? I can bring down minus 25. Right? Minus 25. Now minus 25 in minus 25y. Minus 25 in minus 25y. Minus to cancel minus 25 cancel 25. What's remaining? It's remaining y. Now minus 25 in plus 25. Minus 25 in plus 25. 25 cancel 25. Minus in minus. Minus in plus will be what? Minus. So what's remaining? 25 in 25 is what? 1. So what's remaining? Minus 1. All equals to what? 0. I hope you understand. So now y times, you can open it back to check. Y times y is what? Y square. Y times minus 1 minus 1y. Now minus 25 times y is what? Minus 25y. Then minus 25 times minus 1 will go back to what? Plus 25. I hope you understand. Plus 25. All equals to 0. You see that the bracket is the same. The bracket is the same. So you pick one of the bracket, y minus 1. Then you pick the one outside, y minus 25. All equals to 0. So what do? We get this one to 0, equate this one to 0. So what do you write? You say y minus 1 equals to 0, or y minus 25 equals to 0. Yeah, y will be equals to, when minus 1 cross, that will be what? Plus 1, right? When minus 1 cross, that will be plus 1. So, or y is equals to, when minus 25 cross, that will be what? Plus 25, right? That will be 25. When minus 25 cross, that will be what? 25. So these are the two answers we got. So now, but we're not done yet. Don't forget, we said let y be equals to what? 5 raised to power x. So let's go back and say recall that we said y is equals to 5 to the power of x. So we'll now say when, we have two answers for y. So when y is equals to 1, let's insert. When y is equals to 1, so what will it be? That will be 1 is equals to 5 to the power of x. So this one now, I can still write it as 5 to the power of 0 equals to 5 to the power of x. 5 to the power of 0 is what? 1, right? So the base are the same, equate them together, then we have 0 is equals to what? X. Therefore, x is equals to 0. And this is the answer for the first one. This is the answer for the first one. Let's go back again and say when y is equals to 25, what are we going to have? We'll put inside this equation, which is 25 is equals to 5 to the power of x. This 25, I can write it as 5 to the power of 2, right? And 5 to the power of x. 5 to the power of 2 is still 25. So I can write it in this form. So the base are the same, equate them together. What do we have? 2 is equals to x. Therefore, x is equals to 2. So what are the values of our x? X is 0 and x is what? 2. So that is all on this particular question. You see that it's very, very simple. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you.